All right, today on the show, Holistic Hawaii Living, we have a very special guest. Gavin Todd is with us today, along with Maxima. Gavin has experienced Maxima's healing, and so today we're going to let him speak a little bit about his experience and how Maxima's healing helped him become better.
Thank you very much.
Yeah,
thanks for having me.
Thanks for being on the show.
Excellent. Yeah, it's unusual. I find it remarkable that I would be the one to be here to be talking about this and, follow along with me, because it's going to be hard to articulate these kind of things. I've been asked to talk about this experience, but I don't think most people have ever experienced anything like this, so it's really hard to find the exact words. And after seeing Maxima for weeks now, we've had many discussions and trying to talk, and I've exhausted her with a million questions of trying to get to the bottom of how is it that you're able to do these things. But it's remarkable. I was born and raised here on the Big Island, and worked here for many years. I moved away to the mainland, found my wife, brought her back here about 9 years ago after just the hustle and bustle of the mainland. It was just enough. It was not very fulfilling. There's something about home. It brings you back. My parents, everyone's back here. And coming back to the island, it just made sense. And I was working for the family, working in construction. Ended up injuring my lower back, which I know a lot of people experienced. I've run into so many people. And a lot of them have very similar stories. They all go through, being injured on the job. They have a set things, a checklist of what you need to do. They have these rehab programs. They have different kinds of everything, chiropractic, acupuncture, all these different things down the list. I had been injured to the point where I was completely incapacitated, and I had a 1-year-old at home. So there's my poor wife taking care of me and my little girl. It was just, I promised that's not going to happen. I'll do anything they tell me to. And I did, and I had gone for anything they would throw at me. I went for chiropractic, which would give me relief in a day or two, but it was never a long-lasting thing. It was never a complete, realignment or anything. And the more and more as time went on, after going through the rehab process and working out, finding that I'm never going to be the same again. A lot of talking to different people, they were like, you just have to accept it. This is it. Your life was one way before. You just have to accept it now. And it's very difficult for me. And I refuse to believe that. These doctors telling me, no, we can fix you. We can do it. We've got the drugs. We've got the program. I even went to the point where I even saw a doctor to get those steroid injections into my lower back. And if you are willing to put like a 6-inch needle right by your spine, you're willing to do anything. I really was trying to find a cure. And each one of these had benefits, but they were all either short-term or they were not the cure that would allow me to. I still had this huge regimen of just trying to function from day to day, never knowing if this is the day that my back's just going to give out. And my friends have told me stories like when they just sneeze and the back goes out. And that's when I came to find Maxima. I had a good friend who turned me on to you and then said, you should go see her, And this is a hardened Jersey guy, This is where he's from. He's just like, hey, you should go see her. I hear great things, And I'm like, this guy's okay. I will, like I said, I'm open. I'll try anything. It's been years of this. I've got nothing to lose. And it's just so wonderful to come into your presence. And just in talking with you over the phone immediately, I felt that presence of just the calmness and the peace. And I thought, oh, she's interesting. Okay, let's go. What have I got to lose, right? We'll go and check it out. And,
so what was your first experience like? It was
just incredible because of the fact of how low-key it was. I really didn't know what to expect, and my friends who had recommended Maxima did not say anything, give me any kind of warning, because he hadn't experienced it himself, but many folks had success with this. So I thought, okay, I'm willing to try. Let's go find out. Let's keep an open mind and just walk in. And I was expecting something like, she was going to have me stand on one foot with the, tinfoil in the air and then do some chant and spin around. I didn't know what. I was like, and I'm like, okay, well, what have I got to lose? I'll be a little embarrassed afterwards, whatever. We'll take a shot. But it was this thing of just sitting down and talking with her, explaining what had happened and the long process to get here. And she just simply asked, would you be open to trying a healing? And I'm like, that's your hard sell? That's how you're that's how you're going to, okay, that just took me by surprise. I thought she was going to give me this long thing of this spiritual journey and this mystical type of thing to get me to be in that mindset. No, it was simply like, would you be interested? And I was like, yes, I am. It was so inviting and so warm. And again, your presence, I just thought, okay, fine. So where do we have to go? We go out to this.
So she laid
garden.
you on
No,
the Reiki?
I was sitting right there in the same chair,
Okay.
like these office chairs.
Okay.
And she said, just sit there. And I was expecting we were going to go out to the garden or something and meditate. No. It was nothing like that. She just sit, be calm, have my arms down. And I thought, okay, I'm ready for anything. She stood up, walked behind me, and almost instantly, I felt heat radiating on my back. And I'm like, okay, what's going on here? That's a nice trick. And it went on, and I was being polite, remember to be calm, and I thought, I've got to look. What is she doing back there? And I had to look, like, does she have hand warmers or something on there? I'm like, what? She was just standing behind me with her hands, and just up in the air. She wasn't talking to me or trying to pull something out of me, and I was, like I said, I didn't know what to expect. I really didn't expect that, this simple, okay. And then the heat began to move, the bubble, and it's very hard to articulate the feelings, this bubbling, this it's almost like shaking loose, of letting go of this what we've come to talk about through meeting with Maxima, is this stuck energy, this kind of feeling that everything's been locked up. When you get injured, your body does physically. It just locks up and it tries to protect you and goes, okay, I got you, buddy. You're not going to fall apart, and it just locks up forever. And you feel like a cramp in your leg all the time or something. But it's your low back just locked up, completely takes your mobility away. It hurts. And chasing after a young girl like I do, my little daughter, like no, get off the couch. No, come back. Everything's with your back, and you don't run into traffic. And you're just like holding on for dear life, just wondering what's going to set it off. And here I was just sitting in the chair. And she's just radiating this heat. I'm like, oh, this feels wonderful. I feel peaceful. This is great. And I'm going, well, that's nice. But then as time went on, the minutes passed, and it began to just, like I said, bubble and move and kind of start to flow, release. It's hard to describe that feeling because I don't think a lot of us have had that kind of a thing. I wish I could tell you that it was just like, well, it's like when you jump off something and you land on a big soft pillow like a cloud. No, it's not like that. It's very, like I said, like a heat radiating through.
A tingling.
It tingles,
sensation.
it pulses a little bit, it feels, and just by sitting there and simply being open to it, I experienced this feeling of releasing the pressure, and it began to flow, and it went through my arms, and I felt it. And I know it sounds so funny for me to even say these words, really, right now. I'm like, wow, I must sound just crazy, but if I hadn't experienced it myself, I couldn't tell you this verbatim. That's just what happened. I didn't do anything, stand up or anything, and I'm like, is she pumping gas into this room or something, making me think that there's something? But no, it really was this feeling. Several minutes had passed, and I completely felt almost, that drunken sensation of just you're loose and free. And it's such a hard thing to describe. But I really was. It was to the point where after leaving Maxima, I had to just sit in my car. I was like feeling like I can't drive yet. Hold on, I'm just gonna sit here for a minute and collect myself, because it was just this feeling of release. It was just so wonderful and peaceful, and it was nothing what I would have ever expected. After they prescribed the drugs, they take the pills. There's so many side effects, feeling sick and groggy, and never really curing the problem. Here is something that actually was giving me relief instantaneously, and made me feel so loose and so wonderful. I couldn't sleep that night. I had so much energy. I just felt so much better. And it's been years of this. You have to understand that I have not felt that kind of looseness and mobility and freeness. And I'm not here to say like, oh, it cured me and I'm I can walk. Look at me. It's not like that. It's not like this. This healing in coming with Maxima to visit. It's always been this thing of like peeling back an onion, taking off that first layer. And then you're a little bit better, and then taking off that next layer and getting deeper and finding this is just your body and your mind all connected. That your body's telling you you're in pain, I'm going to do what I can to protect you and hold on to you, but you end up just feeling so tight and so restricted that there wasn't anything that I had taken, none of the physical regimen, none of the icing routine or the heat routine, all these different things that we tried, electrostem, sending surges like that. I hadn't experienced anything where I was completely, after walking away from it, feeling like I feel so much relief. I feel so much better. And the best thing I can tell you is I felt hope, which I hadn't felt for a really long time. You know, it was really, like I said, it was a lot of people with doom and gloom stories of just accept it. It's the way it is, and they'll tell you they can fix you, but they can't. And then the last thing I ever would have expected was to find you and to experience that feeling, that sensation, which is just remarkable.
So not only do you feel a level of physical healing, but emotionally.
Yes, there's
as
that
well.
benefit too, because after being locked up and being in that mindset of, wow, my life has changed. This is so much gloom and doom. You know, I'm not able to do my construction job anymore. There's so many giant changes in your life, and all that thing just compresses on you, makes things tougher on you that you don't even realize. The stresses and the things just weigh you down. And as I mentioned, she stood behind me and had her hands above my neck. My injury was down by my back. I'm like, what's happened? Like, I did explain where it was. It was all being held up here. Oh, this tension, the stress, this thing that, of all that pressure and all that weight that was resting on my neck and my shoulders. And it allows things to flow out. And in subsequent visits, I have gone on the Reiki table, laying, turning over, or even on my back, and just, again, the hands above and just flowing. And we talk calmly. She's not there with, saying any kind of chant or anything to something that I would have expected to be like a hypnotic thing or something like, let me get your brain to think the way I want you to. It wasn't this. It was just, we talk about things, or I'd ask her questions like, what are you feeling? Well, how does it, hands? Do you feel the rotation of the planets or something? It's really, I mean, I asked some wild questions. It's going, how are you doing this? It's really unexplainable. This is not logical, and it's not like anything you have ever seen. So I got to tell you, it's been the longest lasting and most wonderful improvement to my whole life. And again, emotionally, it has been a tremendous benefit in that way, that I hadn't been able to feel hope before, like I mentioned, and you also just don't feel yourself. You just don't feel flexible, you know? Especially when you have a little girl, you want to be super dad. You want to just run and jump. I'll run after you at the park. I'm right there, kiddo. Some days it was just like, honey, Daddy's going to sit this one out. So now it was like, I feel freer, I feel looser, and I'm able to play with her more and be that dad and be there for her and be there emotionally, not be this gloom and doom going around while I'm trying to keep, my daughter entertained or happy. So the benefits are astounding in so many levels. Just the physical release has been one thing, and that's what it is. It's just a release. It's just a letting go of all this pain and all these things that have built up for years and years. Because this didn't just happen overnight. This injury came after a process of many things. I'm not even sure. It could be several things, several factors, many jobs that you do in construction, and I don't know why somehow I thought, well, I'll just take a pill and I'll feel better. I'll just, these doctors say they can cure me, 6 months of this, and I'm back on the street and we're gone. It was never like that. And they no matter what they did, whatever they provided, it didn't have the long-lasting benefit.
So do you think that Maxima gave you like a belief to have hope? I mean, what do you feel changed, inside of you that caused you to have hope or have the belief?
It's an interesting thing. It's a great question, because that's the essence of trying to understand what it is that Maxima does as a healer, as a person who has this remarkable gift. It's undeniable. I would love to sit here and tell you, well, it was a great mind trick that you pulled on me. No, I'm telling you, there's no hypnotic trance. Like I said, there's no, music or messaging. I feel that it is. I feel that very much it is her presence.
Was it her love for you that you felt of service, or
I think it is. It's her ability in her presence. Her presence. She's very present in the moment, and when you meet her, again, she's very calm. I'm a very hyper person, as you can tell, and just in always talking with her was just always this very calm and peaceful feeling of release. And it's very hard to get to the essence of that very question, like, what is it that changed? I tell you, if I had to just put it into words only, it's that there's this release of all this locked up, pent up stress and energy and negativity that was just locked up like nuts, right?
Certain thoughts that you didn't have to think anymore.
That's it. And it was just the ability to open up that channel. It's just like anything else. They'll tell you, any doctor will tell you, you've got to stretch out before you work out. You got to do those things. It's to get the blood flowing. It's to wake up those muscles. You can't just stretch them out and just go and expect something to snap. That you have to relax and let these things flow out. And it was her, in that moments, it was almost like a vacation for myself in those moments. Being able to just go, I feel it, this is happening. And I tell you that second time I went back, I'm like, I've got to go, because I don't even believe this is true. I'm like so skeptical. I'm so skeptical, and I've told Maxima, I'm just like, oh yeah, we'll see about that. Let's see what did she pull on me, because that's just too remarkable. It was such an intense feeling of relief. Going back the next week and again, feeling it once again, and feeling this next layer come off. That was really remarkable. I tell you, it has led to that, the benefit of the physical relief and this being able to, the energy flowing through me. I've been feeling more whole, more positive, more together, you know. It's been such a benefit. And I mean, this is nothing that, you know, you should just take my word for it. I mean, you've got to sit and experience it for you, you know. There's no other way to describe it, because, like I said, we've all had these shared experiences that a lot of people are able to lock onto, but there's nothing quite like this. When it's so simple and so pure, and it comes from such a loving place, I feel, that it's powerful. And it's not a big religious thing where religious has a lot of feelings of, if you follow these steps, you will feel God with you, will feel close, you know, all these things. It's not that. It's not this process. It's not this these steps or these things. It's an awakening or an openness that she kind of opens up that channel through you, and that's what I feel. You know, it's whereas I was saying religion, they offer you this happiness and this peace from doing these certain things. It doesn't cure the thing. It's a process. Like I said, you have to continue to do those things. You need to, you know, follow along in those beliefs. You have to go along weekly. You go to church. You do these steps. This isn't that. It isn't like that, and that's why it's hard to describe to a lot of people, because they feel that, am I surrendering to some other belief or feeling? It's like, no, this is all within inside you. We're all mechanical. Like I said, doctors have proven the mind and the body is all connected. And somehow she's able to get those two to kind of work together and to release and talk to each other. It's like, hey, this pain's been good. You've been here to help, but it's time to go.
Yes, thank you for the blessing.
Yes.
Next
exactly.
lesson.
It is. It's like, okay. And it's almost like making peace and allowing those things to relax and flow through you. And it's unlike anything else that I can really articulate. So if I sound like I'm babbling a little bit, because it really is, it's really tough to say this is what it feels like, but I can tell you the benefits have been long-lasting and strengthening to me, you know, emotionally, spiritually, physically, more than anything. It's been the longest-lasting thing I've had. So
what type of healing model is this that you perform with?
Right. It's basically energy. It's energy healing, and it has to do with the thoughts. So it allows mind, body, and spirit to come together. And a lot of people concentrate on the physical, and we're spiritually poor, I guess you can say, or deprived. And that's
true.
When you heal the spirit first, I believe that if you heal the spirit and the emotions, then the body becomes healed. So cancer, that's all fear, the thoughts that we carry within. And because your body reacts to when you're not feeling well. So you catch a cold, then you start meeting people, you know, you go out, and if you don't take care of that cold, because our body actually heals itself naturally. We all heal ourselves. You cut yourself.
Antibodies, all those different things attack those. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, you cut yourself, and if you don't take care of it, you won't be able to heal it. So, and then remember when you used to fall or you cut yourself and go, Mama, kiss, and she sends the love, and it feels a lot better.
That's right. That is very true. Same thing with dogs too. If you let a dog lick your cut, it will heal itself because the dog's love for you helped. Very similar to what her type of therapy, I believe, because I experienced the same thing. I when I was under the Reiki table and she was, you know, doing the healing, I felt my own thoughts change to be more open to maybe the thought thinking me instead, my own natural you know, feeling of love that I
Mhm.
should be feeling for myself.
Yes.
I felt that come through because she cleared my thoughts to let, you know, my mind was thinking the whole time, but really it was my heart that I felt needed to think, and she seemed to have opened that for me, so
Yeah.
I could be more, you know, have the feeling of thoughts instead of just thinking them, and, you know,
They do.
without a feeling. It should be a, you know, have a feeling.
Wear us down, exactly, and that's really exactly it. Opening that channel, letting that love, that power through, that you're able to heal yourself, and
Mhm.
that's
Mhm.
really accurate. I mean, that's very good. That's
And
exactly
that
it.
you caused it in some way
Mhm.
because of your thoughts.
Yes.
You know, your thoughts may have been too intense,
Mhm.
and it manifested in your body. And then when you released that, that was an immediate healing, which was,
Yes.
you know, what you felt in the car. You had to kind of stop and take a break because
Yeah.
it was a new feeling. You'd been carrying these thoughts for so long, and all of a sudden it was like, you don't need to think that anymore. And boy, what a relief.
Yes.
All the chips off your shoulder, you know, her love within you, the love of yourself within you to ask for this healing, being open to it, you know.
Yeah, that negativity we carry on so long, it really does have a physical effect on you. It does. Like I said, you lock up, you close yourself off. Emotionally, spiritually, you do. It has all that weight and all that pain that goes along with it. So it's exactly right. Opening yourself up to allowing yourself to heal.
And I think it's directing the intention of healing too. Is that correct?
And the intention of, well, you can say that society has brainwashed us because they say that we're not good enough, and we start not loving within. And then everybody has to understand that when you love yourself, totally love yourself, the energy goes out to the universe, and the universe starts healing. But we don't remember that. We forgot about it when we were a child, you know, when we used to be happy.
Yeah.
How, you have to ask yourself, well, how can I help myself to be happy first? Because we're always giving.
Yes.
And the energy, we need to be selfish, I guess. Selfish for ourselves, to love ourselves first.
Yes.
Because when you love yourself, everybody else will feel that. They go, oh, I want what you have.
But
How
that's
do you
funny
do
that you
it?
say that, because people are. If you meet somebody who's confident, who's just at peace with themselves and they're just happy and high, you know, people react to those people. People follow those people. You feel like, wow, they know a secret. They've got something going on.
Yeah.
And that's exactly it. I think we've all been told, you know. You look at any magazine, I mean, for men and for women now. I mean, for women for years, but for men even, where they show, you know, no, you don't have those six-pack abs, you're not any good, you know, you got to do this, you got to do this now. Oh, no, those pants, they're out of style. We got to do this now. Like, you just keep changing. Huh? What am I supposed to do? I don't feel good about yourself. You're always kept being a good consumer that way. You're always looking for the next thing, and all that worry just weighs you down.
Well, and the golden rule was taught to us as love your neighbor as yourself.
Mm-hmm.
But the truth is, it's love yourself
Exactly.
as you would your neighbor.
Yes.
You know, the opposite is true. When you love yourself more, it automatically exudes into your neighbor, because your neighbor would be you, and you would only treat your neighbor as you would yourself, you know, so.
That's why this has been so hard, and to be too personal, yeah, with my wife not feeling so difficult as this whole experience has been, feeling as badly as I did about myself, not being able to provide for my family, to do all the things that I need to get done, and all that weight wearing on me. You gotta love yourself first, because it's true in any relationship. If you don't love yourself, you really can't love somebody else. You really can't take care of them, and they're not attracted to that. I've not been a pleasant person to be around, so bless my wife, love her so much for standing with me through all this and understanding, because I've been in such a dark space. Through Maxima, she sees me lighten up a little bit and just kind of open and freer, and let's do some things. I have energy today. I feel good.
Sounds like she kind of opens up to your own inner knowledge, because now you know, man, I can heal myself. You know, you got that little attitude going on. You know, he's bad.
You know, I wish I could do what Maxima does, because believe me, I've laid there at night quietly and trying to think, like, if I could just...
We've had conversations, because I always,
Well, you're right.
I have to learn from my clients, because I was like, okay, so how can I help you? What can I do to help you to do this for yourself? Because that's my gift. I said, so I have to bring out the person, because everybody's different. And so the question is how do you love how can you learn to love yourself? How could you give back the self-esteem that you lost?
Give it
So,
back.
yeah,
That's great,
and
but the-
that's the healing part of it. How,
Exactly.
yeah, and so I say, well, what makes you happy? What brings out the passion in you? What makes your heart sing? And that's the healing. And once you get the answer, because I cannot answer that, the client has to answer.
And that's very good because everybody's different. And what the doctors are doing, like I said, they have a checklist. They go down the list. Okay, we tried this, not working, good luck. Here's here's some
Or they'll
pills.
say, you need surgery, and I
Yeah,
can pay
yeah.
for my child's, college fund with that.
There you go.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so you want to be careful. That's why you don't want to depend so much on their, that you want to be open to all thought processes because you can evaluate what's best for you. And, like the same thing happened to me. I went to the doctor, they told me chemo, radiation, or surgery, and I said, someone told me that I could heal myself. And she said she would help me, so I said, I can do this then.
It's
If I
empowering,
have
isn't
just
it?
one
Yeah.
person that believes that I can heal myself, and yet we have a whole world of people, available. But they're coming more, and we're hoping that people like Maxima can be all of us, being able to heal ourselves and teach others through our thoughts. But you have professionals to come to. Like I consider Maxima as more of a shaman type of healer. She comes with the knowledge from the ancestors that she's calling through her, and there's like wisdom teachers, and then people like me who are students of the process, But.
Well, I hadn't been. That's what was so alarming with this whole thing. Really, really waking me up. I'm not an exceptionally religious person or have all these different belief systems in place. Like I said, I had a lot of trust in the doctors. I thought if you follow these steps, we get to here. I didn't come with a lot of that. And in working with Maxima, in talking with her in these sessions, it hasn't felt like I said, I thought I would have to do something to get out of myself. I thought she and then when I'm not paying attention, she pull a fast one on me. And it's like, no, she did in a completely different way. She got me to realize that you can heal from within yourself and just allow yourself that gift of, what, you can. You do heal yourself is exactly right. Any doctor will tell you that. If you do have to clean the cut first, you have to take care of those things. That's true. But your body heals from within itself, and it fights these things off. And it does. If you allow it to, if you're in the right frame of mind, if you do the steps that you need to do, and the mind and body, like I was saying, is connected, and you can't discount that, and you're like a shaman. You've actually guided me through that way. And it's like, what, come through this door. There's no, the industry is so strong and in place, it really has this feeling that if you take this pill, you'll lose weight, you'll feel better, you'll, like yourself more. It's like these things that change your chemistry, whereas that's not a long-term fix. That's not a thing that completes you. You have those feelings. You have those things within you. You just got to allow them to happen.
Anyway, thank you so much.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Really.
Thank you, Gavin, for coming
Absolutely,
here and
thank you.
sharing. It's such a great opportunity to see what Maxima really does from the receiving side.
Yeah, and I had to get this out because I'm so unlike the person that would seek someone out, what you do. It really just happened almost by chance, by whatever reason, I was open to it. I really can't say it was any harder than that. And I've benefited greatly from that. I was so grateful. Thank you so much.
You're welcome. My pleasure.
Thank you.
Absolutely.
And we look forward to getting more interview from Maxima Forsland. She's a healer, but she's also an amazing computer technologist, author. She's written a book on healing and self-development. Thank you so much for being with us.
And where can we find you on
I
online?
have on the internet. My website is maximamay.com.
MaximaMay.com.
Yep.
Excellent. Thank you for
Please
joining
share your
us.
Wonderful. Thank you for tuning in.
So,
Aloha.
My name's Zach Royer.
I'm Claire Bajo.
And I'm Caren Gomes.
I'm Gavin Todd.
And I'm Maxima Forsland.
Thanks for being on our show, and we look forward to seeing you again next time.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Aloha.
Aloha.
Aloha.